I think this is a group that they love being in the gym. They love being around one another. I think the camaraderie is great. They just like playing with each other.
The council is now in session.
With a personality shaped by being an athlete and a background in mainstream sports media, I found that the stories I was most interested in telling were the ones often overlooked, the ones that might not otherwise be told, the ones that show the intangible and not just the highlight reel. The Sports Council is about highlighting the great, the good, the unique, and everything in between in the Pacific Northwest sports world. I'm Jamie Council. Thanks for joining me.
You're listening to the Sports Council on 1340 ESPN, the Tri-Cities leader in sports. We're listening to the Sports Council.
Basketball coach, Chiawana High School.
We're listening to the Sports Council.
Oh boy, 24th year as varsity coach. Let's see, I did 8 years at Pasco as the varsity, and this is year number 12. So overall, my 29th year in coaching. So if you go back to 1996, so crazy.
Yeah, crazy. And a lot of people move from Pasco to Chiawana, now with another high school. How does that affect you?
That's tough as far as, they've told us we're going to lose roughly 1,000 kids to both Sageview and Pasco High. I think the new boundaries will be something that it'll take some time for us to get used to. I do like the fact they're going neighborhood schools as far as not as much busing. I think that'll be good for the kids. Growing up with your friends and getting to go to the same high school, I think will really help a lot of them out. And we do. I mean, I hate to see us lose kids, but our hallways are shoulder to shoulder, front to back. It's crazy how packed we are. So we know we're the biggest school in the state, and by building another school, smaller class sizes is good for the education, and more kids will have opportunities to play sports with another school. So it needs to be done. It'll definitely, without a doubt, we'll lose some talent, but it is what it is. You coach the kids that show up in your gym, and you try your best to be the best you can be.
And add another team to the MCC.
Yes, no doubt. So less non-league games. So more games in the Tri-Cities, which I don't mind after all these years of coaching. Staying in the Tri-Cities is nice.
So let's talk about this year's squad. A pretty young squad. You have Cody Iverson, a senior that gets good playing time, but a relatively young squad, and you guys are sitting in the top part of the MCC. Tell me a little bit about what makes this year's squad so successful.
I think this is a group that they love being in the gym. They love being around one another. I think the camaraderie is great. They just like playing with each other. It's today. In fact, they asked for a team if they could have a team only, practice, team only shoot around. One of the parents brought them donuts, and they put together their own drills, and they just like being around one another. And so it's after doing it so many years, I have had some teams like that, but you've also had teams where they didn't seem like they liked each other.
Yeah.
And they didn't really get along, and those were tough to kind of manage. Whereas these guys, they're always laughing. There's a smile on their face. This is probably as deep as I've been at Chiawana.
Yeah.
We played most nights we play 10 guys. Sometimes we play 13. So, most of the time, I think every coach would agree that you're trying to find, maybe 7 that can compete at a high level. Hopefully 8, but this year we're very deep, and I like the fact that we are young. So I think we're still continuing to get better every day, and they're a joy to coach.
Pop into 2025 with Krispy Kreme. Yes, Krispy Kreme has teamed with Pop-Tarts to bring you our Pop-Tart collection. Come grab a dozen of your favorite donuts flavored as your favorite Pop-Tarts January 6th through 21st. While in store, ask how you could earn free donuts with the Krispy Kreme app. And we still have openings for your fundraisers. A great way to support your team, church, or other nonprofit. All at your local Krispy Kreme. 2805 Dupertail Street in Richmond. Come in with a sweet tooth, leave with a smile.
The theme is Mardi Gras. Join me, Jamie Council, at the 4th Annual Pasco Kennewick Rotary Wine Valley Gala on February 8th at Zintill Creek in Kennewick. There will be hors d'oeuvres, a silent auction, and of course, wine. Plus, it's all to give back to the community. Jeanette Fiore is a member of Rotary. Jeanette, what does the money raised go towards?
Jamie, we give tens of thousands of dollars to educational scholarships, technical scholarships, community-based projects, so many different things that enhance our youth and build leadership skills and make them more productive citizens for the community.
So Saturday, February 8th at 6 o'clock, what do people need to know about the event?
Come as you are. You're welcome to dress in Mardi Gras attire, but it's not necessary. It should be a fun night. Meet a lot of people. There'll be a silent auction, there'll be raffle items, and one of the wonderful things will be a Traeger grill.
For more information, go to pkrotary.org.
Inconveniences can happen at, well, inconvenient times. JRT Mechanical has plumbers and HVAC technicians available 24/7 if an emergency does arise. Or if you feel like your house isn't cooling like it used to, or if you're tired of a hose leaking from last winter's freeze, JRT is an honest, reliable company that's been in the Pacific Northwest for more than 3 decades. Give JRT Mechanical a call at 509-314-4314 or visit jrtmechanical.com.
If you've got a winery, brewery, or dairy, why buy industrial parts and supplies from across the country? Central Industrial Sales is your local source for supplies and equipment for the dairy, food processing, winery, and brewing industries. We specialize in custom fabrication, industrial cleaning equipment, sanitary fittings, valves, pumps, chemicals, and many other supplies. Everything's available through our website, by phone, or by dropping by our office. Call 509-375-4032 or find us at centralindustrialsales.com. Custom fabrication equipment, sanitary fittings, valves, pumps, chemicals, and
That's the one thing about you guys is you have multiple players that can get the double figure scoring, or you have multiple guys that can go off on the boards. For example,
we specialize in custom fabric.
Benji Larios, who is very capable of scoring, took a different role,
chemicals,
and you know, you guys are very. It makes it hard to prepare for Chiawana.
And that's how I've always tried to coach and prepare our team so that we
specialize in custom fabric.
Get it done. And a lot of years we've tried to have an equal opportunity offense, so to speak. We try not to have as many, too many tells, or okay, if we stop this one guy, or if we only run this one play. So we try to teach principles of offense, and take what the defense gives you, and on any given night, it can be any given player. I think, we've had a number of leading scorers in our game, so. And that I think also leads to unselfish play. We don't have guys that are over dribbling or taking bad shots, and so I think, as you said, that's tougher to guard when you've got 5 guys on the floor that are capable.
And something about Chiawana that people can always expect, no matter who's on the roster, it seems like you guys can always shoot the 3 ball.
We put a lot of time into that. Obviously we try to work again, of course, on defense and rebounding and all that stuff, but the name of the game is putting the orange thing in the orange thing. And that's what we preach constantly, is get in the gym and in the off season, get your shots up. We've done some fundraising over the last 15 years we have multiple shooting machines in our possession that we try to get out, especially in the off season. But in our practices, we get a lot of time in on shooting. So, and I believe that every kid out there should be able to shoot, from range. If all 5 guys have the capability of hitting 3-pointers, it helps you to score the ball easier, because the opponent has to respect all 5 guys, which helps the spacing and allows for more driving lanes.
And I heard a rumor. Let me know if it's true. So the earlier loss to Kennewick, Kennewick played a great complete game. I heard you guys played that game with a girls' ball.
That is not true.
Okay.
No, we played that with a boys' ball.
Somebody told me that, and it was within Chiawana, and I'm like...
I think the kids got that story because there was a girls' ball on the scorer's table when we were putting them away. Anyway, the rumor spread, and I checked with the referees, and they said that was a boys' ball, and I always make sure to check the ball. Of course, I think every coach does. So, no, that was if it was a girls' ball, then, man, I'd have to say that Braden Leidy over at Kennewick does a heck of a job of preparing his guys with a girls' ball, because they shot the lights out that night. They put it to us, and they made most of their shots, and we just we had a night where we didn't make many shots, and I'm not sure if we were looking for some type of excuse or what, but yeah, that wasn't a girls' ball.
Okay, I was wondering, I'm like, how do you not notice just when you catch the ball?
Correct.
But yeah, I think it was, and again, it came from inside Chiawana.
No doubt.
So it's not like I made it up.
No, some of my players still believe it, without a doubt. I'm not gonna, and as long as I've been doing this, I'm not gonna argue with. If they want to think that, that's fine. They can think that, but
yeah,
no, it wasn't a girls' ball.
It's just excuses at this point.
No doubt about it. We don't do excuses in our program, so they're gonna do them away from me. All right, but not in front of me.
And talk a little bit about the MCC. Kennewick, 3A school, and they played phenomenal in that game. And they can beat anybody any given night. So just kind of talk about the MCC and what you can expect from teams in this area.
Yeah, there's a lot of skill players in the league. As far as I think it's a guard-driven league. Lots of shooters. Just when you watch Richland play, they in years past they've had Westerfield. They've had a Soren with all, height that is hard to compete with, whereas now they're mostly all guards that can really shoot it. I think the majority of the league has their fair share of shooters. Kennewick, I think they have the best, high-low with the Larson brothers being so tall. Not a lot of teams can really compete with that this year, and that's what really hurt us. And whether they're 3A or 4A, it only takes 5. I've learned a long time ago that it doesn't matter the size of the school. You can put together a 5 that's good. You can compete at whatever classification. So, it's. I think the league is very young. In fact, we're young. Ritson's young. Kennewick's relatively young. Kamiakin doesn't have a senior. Hermiston plays mostly sophomores. So yeah, it's just I'm not sure. We talk about that actually as head coaches. Is that a COVID effect? Is there a reason why there's just not many seniors who play basketball? We don't know. That's just something we've talked about. But the senior class doesn't have a lot of basketball players in our league, at least. So, and we didn't last year really either. In fact, I didn't have any seniors last year. The 2 that we were going to be on the team both got hurt in football, but still 2's a very small number for a 4A school.
Exactly.
So back-to-back classes with really not a lot of seniors that play.
Yeah, that was something when I took a look at that, I think my mind first goes, oh, well, last year there was so many prolific seniors in the MCC that if you're sitting behind the depth chart, you might fall off. But I think you're right that it might be an effect of COVID.
Yeah, it's possible.
Very interesting. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into the players on Chiawana boys basketball. Okay. Again, we're catching up with Chad Herron, head coach for Chiawana boys basketball. You're listening to the Sports Council on 1340 ESPN, your Tri-Cities leader in sports.
Inconveniences can happen at, inconvenient times. JRT Mechanical has plumbers and HVAC technicians available 24/7 if an emergency does arise. Or if you feel like your house isn't cooling like it used to, or if you're tired of a hose leaking from last winter's freeze, JRT is an honest, reliable company that's been in the Pacific Northwest for more than 3 decades. Give JRT Mechanical a call at 509-314-4314 or visit jrtmechanical.com.
The theme is Mardi Gras. Join me, Jamie Council, at the 4th annual Pasco Kennewick Rotary Wine Valley Gala on February 8th at Zintill Creek in Kennewick. There will be hors d'oeuvres, a silent auction, and of course, wine. Plus, it's all to give back to the community. Jeanette Fiore is a member of Rotary. Jeanette, what does the money raised go towards?
Jamie, we give tens of thousands of dollars to educational scholarships, technical scholarships, community-based projects, so many different things that enhance our youth and build leadership skills and make them more productive citizens for the community.
So Saturday, February 8th at 6 o'clock, what do people need to know about the event?
Come as you are. You're welcome to dress in Mardi Gras attire, but it's not necessary. It should be a fun night. Meet a lot of people. There'll be a silent auction. There'll be raffle items. And one of the wonderful things will be a Traeger grill.
For more information, go to pkrotary.org.
If you've got a winery, brewery, or dairy, why buy industrial parts and supplies from across the country? Central Industrial Sales is your local source for supplies and equipment for the dairy, food processing, winery, and brewing industries. We specialize in custom fabrication, industrial cleaning equipment, sanitary fittings, valves, pumps, chemicals, and many other supplies. Everything's available through our website, by phone, or by dropping by our office. Call 509-375-4032 or find us at centralindustrialsales.com.
Pop into 2025 with Krispy Kreme. Yes, Krispy Kreme has teamed with Pop-Tarts to bring you our Pop-Tart collection. Come grab a dozen of your favorite donuts flavored as your favorite Pop-Tarts January 6th through 21st. While in store, ask how you could earn free donuts with the Krispy Kreme app. And we still have openings for your fundraisers. A great way to support your team, church, or other nonprofit. All at your local Krispy Kreme, 2805 Dupertail Street in Richmond. Come in with a sweet tooth, leave with a smile. While in store, ask how you could earn free donuts with the Krispy Kreme app. Have openings for your fundraisers. A great way to support your team or nonprofit. All at your local Krispy Kreme.
We're back on the Sports Council, 1340 ESPN, catching up with Chad Herron, head coach for Chiawana boys basketball. And we talked about this team in general. Chiawana loves to shoot the three ball, a younger team, only a couple seniors. So let's dive into, tell me a little bit about the starting five for Chiawana boys basketball. But it's tough because it kind of changes every game.
In my mind, honestly, I've got 8 or 9 starters. I really do. I have no qualms at all about going to the bench. I actually think that sometimes we actually pick up our energy, pick up our skill level when we go to the bench. And so
maybe let's go class by class.
Yeah, no, Cody is voted one of our captains. Does all the little things for us as far as hustle plays, rebound, post defense. Heck of a shooter as well. Heck of a leader. And then our 2 seniors, Jonas Adamson and Carter Kreutz, great kids. I mean, you don't find better representatives of our school as far as in the classroom, in the hallways. Phenomenal kids. They also do a good job when I get them in. It's just we're so dang deep that it's tough to get them in. Gage Williams, obviously, second team All-League last year.
Yeah.
Does a heck of a job, can score at various levels, does a good job of getting to the free throw line. Voted unanimous captain, so I know that he has the respect of his peers. Benji Larios coming, he's getting better and better every day. I believe he told me he didn't start playing basketball until 7th grade. Oh. And so this being his, 4th year, I believe, 4th or 5th year. He brings a lot of physicality to us. He definitely leads us in block shots. I would guess the league with as many blocks as he's had. Good rebounder for us. Athen Harris, great energy, lefty, which I like lefties because they always seem to present problems that most kids aren't used to. He can shoot it. Probably our most active defender. We put him on the point of our press, and he gets things going. Santana Cifuentes, very heady, smooth point guard that does a little bit of everything, scores it, passes it well, very tenacious on defense as far as his instincts and whatnot. Junior Heavens, probably the glue as far as offensively, who makes that extra pass. Because we got a lot of guys that want to shoot, and I actually wish Junior would shoot more, but he definitely is that guy that, when someone's open, he makes sure to get him the ball. And I don't want to say keeps people happy, but when guys are open and they know they're going to receive the ball, I think that's a big thing. Let's see. I got another Devin Davila, maybe our best shooter. We do a lot of shooting drills in practice, and I chart most of them, and his numbers are pretty high on everything we do. And so some nights he starts, some nights he comes off the bench, but he knows his role is that if he can see the rim, I want him to shoot it. And so he's also an instinctive player, heck of a passer, just a gym rat. Let's see, I believe that's all of our juniors. And then sophomore class, Ender Douglas, does a lot of good things for us. I like his defense and his rebounding. Shooting is he's a heck of a shooter. I also want him to shoot more, but that'll come in time. Wade Woodard, another sophomore who's grown, I think, 6, maybe 7 inches in the last year. He's about 6'5" now. I'm hoping he's going to get even taller. And another guy that I think eventually will be in the rotation, will be really good the next couple of years, being only a sophomore.
Sometimes it's hard to grow that much and have your coordination keep up.
Yes, Messiah Guy, a 9th grader who plays definitely beyond his years.
Yeah.
He also could be titled as our best shooter. Scores very high in practice as far as all of our shooting charts. He's a gym rat. If he's not in our gym, he's at LifeQuest or vice versa. He plays constant AAU. Gets up early in the morning, gets his workouts in. Great kid. And they're all, man, I haven't done a GPA, official check yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is my best team academically as well. And then Nano Contreras, another freshman who he floats JV varsity with Wade Woodard. They do that, but Nano is man, he one heck of a player. And we're so guard heavy right now that I think as a ninth grader, he's going to get stronger. The game is going to become a lot slower to him in the next year. And he's a guy that I have no problem at all putting in the game either. So yeah, I think I spoke about all 13, but I have no complaints at all with who I'm coaching. So very, very happy about it. And I'm a lucky guy.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
And this year with the football team seeing so much success, which is great. Iverson, the center.
No doubt.
How did that affect you?
You know, that's a heck of a question. I don't think anyone's ever asked that before, but being at a school with such great football success, I really think helps the basketball program. But in the first month, it is really tough because when you go so deep into a football season, it's just they're so different as sports as far as, you know, the cardio and getting a little bit of that extra football, getting those football legs out of you, I guess I would say, and getting them, you know, in shape. But it's usually, you can tell the football guys are usually a little bit heavy-legged the first few weeks, but as we get into January, they really come around. And, you know, I was fortunate to also be the head coach at Pasco High when I think Graf in those years, I think we went to 4 state titles, won 3 of them. And so I just kind of got used to, you know, it's my job to make sure we're playing our best in February. But with football success, we're rarely going to be playing our best. And you don't really want to play your best in December. But as the year goes on, we usually are playing our best ball at the end of the year. And I think we've always done a good job of that. And that success from Pasco carried over to Chiawana. And fortunately for me, I'm an assistant coach for football. So I like to build relationships with a lot of these kids. And because, you know, it was so much specialization in sports these days.
Yeah.
I try to make sure to tell all my basketball players, play multiple sports. If you can play 3, play 3, but try to at least play 2. And I, of course, try to get to as many football players as possible because normally the competitiveness, the toughness of a football player, if you can get that onto a basketball court and mix that in with some good shooters, you can usually put a pretty dang good team on the floor. So we try to get as many capable athletes to keep playing basketball as possible. And you know, again, at Chiawana, we're very fortunate with football, with wrestling being away to our spring sports. So I know that we're all spoiled with the athletes that we get. And, you know, I just try to make sure we get them all out there on the floor and see what we can do with them.
And that's one thing that specialization is preached a lot these days.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
As a former 3-sport athlete myself, I love high schools that really support supporting in other sports rather than being like, okay, Scott, you know, like lose so I can get my guys.
Yeah, never. Yeah, and Scott and I have grown up with each other since elementary school, so I would never do that anyway. But yes, being so close, it's we were really close to winning the whole thing this year, and that'll sting for a while. But with that football success, that confidence, you know, that swagger, I guess is what kids call it now, that carries over into basketball, and I think. You know, with the kids, the way they carry themselves on the court and the confidence they bring, we go on into every game thinking we're going to win. I like that.
Yeah. And man, that football game, 3 overtimes to the eventual state champions.
Tough.
It's tough.
Yep.
Very tough.
Yes.
And you kind of mentioned it, which was my next question, that you grew up with Scott Bond as well as the athletic director here, John Kazir.
Same grade, same classes since first grade with John. We're 3 blocks away from each other. We've been best friends since, about 1980, 1981, somewhere in there. You know, we are, I don't know, we joke about it, you know, how fortunate we are. Myself, in fact, our AAU basketball team, when we were 10, 11 years old, myself, Kazir, Bond, Coach Kent Nalford, who coaches football and basketball, he's on my staff. Robert Booth, who recently passed, was one of our teammates. But, you know, Mike Clayton is on our football staff. He does a lot. He works the score table during games. He was on our AAU team. But it's, you know, we think we're fortunate. Some people are like, man, it's kind of weird that all you guys grew up together. Now you all came to work at the same spot. I think it's because of the coaches that we had, you know, the mentors that we had. We all loved school. We loved sports so much that we all went into teaching, and we get to coach. I mean, I still don't feel, if I ever feel like when I go to a basketball practice or a football practice, like man, I don't want to do this today. I think that's when you got to start thinking, should I do this anymore? Because these kids, they only get 4 years to do this, and it shouldn't be their best years, but they should be memorable. They should be, man, I loved, this year, my sophomore year, my senior year, that they should have great memories of high school. And so as a coach, I think you've got to approach every practice, every game with, okay, this is their experience, and you want them to have the best experience possible. And I think that's why me and all my buddies, we got into teaching and coaching because of the effect that our teachers, our coaches had on us. And hopefully we're giving our kids the experience similar that we had.
And what are some of the mentors that you had? I mean, you're into it quite a bit now, but you started at some point a couple decades ago.
No doubt. I'd have to start off with my dad. He coached all three sports growing up. I think every one of those guys I just mentioned played for my dad. It's whether it be football, basketball, or baseball, all in basketball. But he had his love for sports. You could just every practice, every game, that was where he wanted to be. You could just feel it. And me being able to grow up in the same house, I was obsessed with sports. Been obsessed with sports my entire life. So I'd say once I got into school ball, Kevin Pedersen in junior high, he's a legend in Pasco. Had him first hour, 7th grade, Western Civilization. He was a great teacher. Coached me in football and baseball growing up, whether it be junior high, high school, JV baseball. Let's see, Michael Hardo, learned a lot from him as our varsity coach. He was tough, challenging. He definitely tried to get the best out of you. And then definitely my college coach, Ed Weidenbach, he's just a special man, both on and off the floor. I looked up to him. Being gone away from home down in Boise, I looked at him kind of as a second father, to be honest with you. Being so far away from home, you're looking for, someone to kind of keep you in line. And when you're in college, sometimes you make decisions that you're not too proud of. And he caught me a few times doing things that I shouldn't do. So he got me back on the straight and narrow. So I'd say those guys, as far as mentors, were a huge part of the guys I played for. Definitely being an assistant coach to Steve Graff I learned an immense amount of approaching practices, games, motivational tactics, work ethic. I couldn't be more fortunate as far as the guys that I've been able to coach with, play for, and hopefully, I'm giving the kids that I coach, better experiences than what I got. I think we always want better for the guys playing for us. So we'll see, I guess, in about 15, 20 years.
Well, thank you for everything you do. I think that I love how much coaches in this area not support them in just sports, but as people too, that's such an important thing. I mean, at the high school level, especially. So with this year's squad, a young team, final question, what are any goals that you set for 2025?
Boy, this team constantly talks about getting in, going to state. And so that is the goal. I think you try to shoot every year to go as far as you possibly can. I think this team is capable. We do need to start, continue to get better. And in the playoffs, you just never know who's peaking at the right time. And if we stay injury free and we keep that togetherness, that family-like atmosphere, you never know.
Well, donuts for breakfast of champions. Best of luck today, and thank you so much for your time.
Hey, thank you, Jamie.
Well, that wrap up this week's show of the Sports Council. Thank you for joining me on 1340 ESPN, your Tri-Cities leader in sports. A reminder, the Sports Council happens 4 times a month, 11:30 a.m. on Thursdays. But you can listen to the show not just over the airwaves at 11:30 on Thursdays, but also on demand at 1340ESPNradio.com via podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for the Sports Council, and it's also available via YouTube. So lots of ways to listen to the Sports Council and support our local sports community. Until next time, I'm Jamie Council. Now we go back to your originally scheduled Seattle Sports program via ways to listen local sports community.